This Capitol Ministries ministry update is about appearing on Dr. James Dobson's radio program, addressing a national revival through reaching political leaders. Revival in America can only happen when our leaders place God at the center of their lives, but how can those in public office be reached with the gospel? That question was posed to Ralph Drollinger, president and founder of Capitol Ministries, during a recent interview with Dr. James Dobson on his Family Talk radio show. Drollinger shared, quote, "Right actions begin with right thinking, and right thinking begins with thinking right about God. So how can you expect right actions in terms of the course of a nation unless your nation's leaders think right? And how can you expect them to think right if they don't know the Word of God? And we're in a biblically illiterate America, increasingly so. There has to be a spiritual dimension to this, and it comes through the church doing its job of teaching the Word of God to political leaders," end quote. Dr. James Dobson, host of Family Talk, noted that Capitol Ministries is being blessed in its work to reach political leaders with the Word of God. Dobson shared, quote, "The Lord is blessing it," end quote. In addition to leading Bible studies to President Donald Trump's cabinet, Dr. Dobson noted, quote, "You're in the House of Representatives, you're in the Senate, and in states across the country. And you also told me when we were in my office a few minutes ago that you are international." Dr. Dobson then asked Drollinger, "Are you really giving them the unexpurgated gospel of Jesus Christ? You're not editing it, you're giving the Word of God to these folks?" Drollinger then responded with a yes. "I have a seminary background of exegetical precision. The seminary that I went to taught me to really think in terms of the Great Commission. Jesus says, 'Teaching them to observe all that I commanded you.' And Paul, he started the Ephesian Church, spent 3 years there. In the book of Acts, when he addresses the Ephesian elders who come down to the port city of Miletus to visit him while he's hurrying back to Jerusalem, he says, 'Elders, I did not shrink from declaring to you the whole counsel of God.'" So those two passages really inform my ministry philosophy, that I need to be about the blocking and tackling every week of preparing a high-protein diet, Word of God, that's not only exegetically drilled down deep, but has a custom application to the life of a public servant. And when you do those two things, there's not a whole lot of stuff out there like it, end quote. Drollinger explained that he taught 3 separate weekly studies to national leaders and, in addition, handed out written Bible studies every week that examined public policy through a biblical lens and addressed the personal, spiritual needs of political leaders. Dobson then asked, "You find hunger out there? Is there hunger in leadership?" Drollinger answered that he did. And his wife, Danielle Drollinger, who once worked in the Dr. Dobson's public policy department at Focus on the Family, then shared in closing, quote, "We can't expect men and women in office to vote right if they reject the author of the book that we live by. You just can't. You have to start at the heart of the matter, which is the heart of the man and the heart of the woman. Good laws come from good hearts. Bad laws come from bad hearts," end quote.